You know that feeling when your life is technically organized on paper, but in your head it just feels like 57 open browser tabs? You've got book highlights in one app, screenshots on your phone, random to-do lists in 3 different notebooks, voice notes from that podcast, a PDF someone sent you last year that you know was important. And somehow, when you actually need something, your mind goes totally blank. You're not broken. Your brain just wasn't designed to hold all of that. In this video, we're going to fix that. We're going to talk about how to organize your life by building what productivity expert Tiago Forte calls a second brain, a simple digital system that remembers everything for you. So your real brain is free to think, create, and actually enjoy your life. By the end, you'll know what a second brain actually is, why you need one even if you're not a content creator, the step-by-step code framework to build yours, and how this system can make your life calmer, more creative, and way less stressful. So let's start with the real problem: information overload. Your brain is drowning in information every day. You're hit with more information than any human in history. Emails, group chats, lectures, Zoom meetings, YouTube videos, podcasts, articles, books, social media. Your brain is constantly being asked to hold on to random pieces of important information. Remember to send that file. That was a great quote. I should use it someday. This idea would make an amazing project. I really need to remember what this doctor just said. And most of the time, you don't write it down. You just think, yeah, I'll remember that. Spoiler: you won't. David Allen, the author of Getting Things Done, has a brilliant line. Your brain is for having ideas, not for holding them. The more you try to cram into your head, the less space you have for creativity, focus, and peace of mind. You start feeling scattered, behind, and weirdly guilty for forgetting things you never had a chance to remember. So instead of trying to force your brain to work like a hard drive, what if you simply gave it an upgrade? What is a second brain? A second brain is basically a digital version of something humans have used for centuries: a commonplace book. Artists, writers, and inventors used to carry notebooks everywhere, collecting quotes, ideas, sketches, questions, and observations from daily life. Leonardo da Vinci did this. So do modern creators, comedians, songwriters. Whenever something sparks, they don't trust memory, they capture it. Your second brain is that same idea, but supercharged by technology. Instead of one physical notebook that you can't search, lose easily, and fill up quickly, you use a digital home for your ideas. That could be Apple Notes, Notion, Evernote, Obsidian, Google Docs. The tool honestly doesn't matter. What matters is this: anytime something feels interesting, useful, inspiring, or important, it doesn't stay in your head. It goes into your second brain. A quote from a book, a tactic from a video, a sentence from a lecture, a random shower thought notes from a meeting, a story from your life you might want to share one day. All of it gets captured into one trusted place. Think of it as a digital extension of your mind, a place where your ideas can live, grow, and connect, instead of just flashing in and out of consciousness and disappearing forever. But I'm not a content creator. You might be thinking, okay, this sounds great if you're a YouTuber, writer, or entrepreneur, but I'm just a student, employee, regular human trying to survive. Do I really need a second brain? Short answer: yes. Because almost every modern job is knowledge work. Whether you're a doctor, programmer, designer, consultant, teacher, manager, student, or someone who just works with spreadsheets and emails all day, your job is basically take in information, make sense of it, turn it into decisions, actions, or results. If your brain is trying to remember everything, you waste insane amounts of energy just juggling details in your head. Imagine having all your class notes connected to your exam questions, all your work ideas tied to the projects they belong to, all your best thoughts, stories and insights saved in one place, and the ability to find any of them in seconds. A second brain doesn't just make you more productive. It makes you calmer. It makes you sharper. And over time, it makes you dangerously effective. So how do you actually build one? Tiago Forte's method comes down to 4 simple steps. Using the acronym CODE: capture, organize, distill, express. Let's break each one down. Step 1. Capture. Stop trusting your memory. The first rule of building a second brain is simple. If it resonates, capture it. You don't need to save everything. Just the things that make you think, wow, that's good. I should use this later. I don't want to forget this. That might be a sentence from a book, a concept from a course, an idea that hits you on a walk, a story a friend told you, a lesson you learned the hard way instead of letting it float away. You grab your phone, open your notes app, and drop it in. It doesn't have to be neat or fully formed. A rough sentence is enough. You can capture manually, typing, dictating, scribbling, or automatically using read-it-later tools, highlight sync, bookmark apps, whatever you like. The important part isn't the tool. It's the habit. From now on, the default is not, I'll remember. The default is, I'll capture. Every great second brain starts messy. That's okay. You can't organize what doesn't exist. So your only job at the beginning is to make sure good ideas never die just because you didn't write them down. Step 2, organize. By action, not by topic. Once you've captured things, your notes will look like a big, chaotic inbox. Books, quotes, screenshots, meeting notes, random ideas, all mixed together. Most people try to fix this by creating folders like books, podcasts, random ideas, quotes to read. It feels neat. But it's not actually useful. Because you don't live your life thinking, right? Time to browse all my book highlights from the last 5 years. You live your life by projects and goals. I need to write this report. I want to make a career. Change. I'm preparing a presentation. I'm planning a trip. I'm revising for this exam. So instead of organizing by where information came from, organize by where you'll use it. Ask yourself, what might I use this for? If a quote, idea, or note is relevant to a video you want to make, a chapter you're writing, a project at work, a class, assignment, a personal goal, put it straight into that project's folder or note. You don't need a complex system. Even something as simple as current projects, areas of life, health, career, relationships, finances, etc. Resources, general references, books, courses is enough. Think of your future self. When they sit down to work on something, you want all the relevant notes already waiting for them in one place. No hunting. No chaos. No, where did I put that? Just open the project, gives all your best thinking, ready to go. Step 3, distill. Keep the gold, ignore the noise. Now you've got notes captured and attached to projects. But inside those notes, there's still a lot of noise. You don't want to reread a 3,000-word article every time you open it. You want the essence. That's where distilling comes in. Distilling is the process of turning a big block of information into something you can understand at a glance. You can do this in layers. First pass, highlight the most interesting sentences. Second pass, bold or re-highlight only the sentences that really matter. Third pass, at the top of the note, write a 2 to 3 line summary in your own words. Now, when you come back weeks or months later, you don't have to go through everything again. You see, what's important, why it mattered to you, how it connects to your project. Over time, your second brain becomes less like a storage unit and more like a curated library, full of ideas that your future self can use in seconds. Step 4, express. Turn notes into results. This last step is where all the magic happens. Capturing, organizing, and distilling are great, but they're not the end goal. The point of a second brain isn't to collect pretty notes. It's to do something with them. Expressing means turning your stored knowledge into output, a video, article, or podcast, a presentation for work, a better decision about your money or career, a thoughtful message to a friend, a business idea, a clearer plan for your life right now. You might be used to doing heavy lift projects. You sit down to write, present, revise, or create, and you start from zero. Blank page, panic, procrastination. With a second brain, most of the work has already been done before you sit down. You're constantly collecting and filing ideas into your projects. You're slowly shaping them over days and weeks. By the time you actually need to deliver something, you're not creating from scratch. You're assembling pieces that are already there. This is what Tiago calls moving from heavy lifts to slow burns. Instead of one huge, stressful push, your projects simmer in the background. Each time you read something useful, you add a little. Each time you have a thought, you drop it in. When it's time to execute, the ingredients are ready. You just cook. How a second brain organizes your life. Let's make this concrete. Imagine your life with a second brain fully set up. You're working on 5 different things: a degree, a side project, your job, your health, and your finances. Each one has its own space in your digital system. Whenever you read or hear something about health, it goes into the health project. When you see something about investing, it goes under finances. When a lecture explains a concept, it goes straight into the note for the exam question it relates to. Weeks later, you don't have to remember everything. You just open the project and your past self has already done the hard work. You become that person who always has something smart to say in meetings, who can throw together a talk in 10 minutes, who writes faster, learns faster, and seems naturally organized, not because your brain is magically better, but because you stopped forcing it to do the part it's worst at: storage. You've outsourced that to a second brain. Your real brain is now free to make connections, see patterns, be creative, actually relax, and that feeling of constant mental clutter, it starts to fade. How to start today? You don't need a perfect system to start. You don't need a fancy app. You don't need a course. Here's a simple way to begin today. Pick one app you already have on all your devices. Notes, Notion, Evernote. Doesn't matter. Create 3 notes or folders. Inbox, current projects, ideas for the next week. Every time something resonates, drop it into the inbox. No pressure. No structure. Just capture. Once a day, take 5 to 10 minutes to move things from the inbox into a relevant project or your ideas folder. When you start working on something, check your second brain first before you start from scratch. That's it. You've now started building your second brain. And if you keep going, this simple habit can genuinely reorganize your entire life from the inside out. Final thoughts. Your life doesn't become organized because you bought a new planner or watched a productivity video. It becomes organized when you accept one simple truth. Your brain is not a storage unit. It's a creative engine. When you stop forcing it to remember everything and give it a second brain to lean on, you free up an insane amount of energy, focus, and peace. You stop living in constant "I'm forgetting something" mode. You start living in "I've got this" mode. So here's your tiny action step. After this video, open your Notes app and capture one idea you want to remember from what you've just heard. Just one. That's your first seed. If this helped you, I'd love for you to hit the like button so more people can discover this idea. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on productivity, learning, and intentional living. And now, go watch the next video where we'll dive into building a simple productivity system that works with your second brain, not against it. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.